When it comes to the chakra technology, there is a lot of information to talk about. And I want to address only just some basic fundamentals that one may need to get initiated or to start understanding what this all means. I'm going to get into what I've learned as a foundation for understanding the energy centers from Dr. Joe Dispenza. Secondly, I want to get into how chakras are energetic vortices that are interfacing with the quantum field. Dr. Joe Dispenza again, because he has been pivotal in my life in learning about the energy centers, or otherwise known as the chakras. Most people know about the chakras, but most people don't really know what the energy centers in the body are, which really are synonymous with the chakras that we most often learn or hear about. All right. However, when I discovered Dr. Joe Dispenza, I realized there's a much deeper understanding to these chakras as energy centers. Dr. Joe Dispenza was the first resource I ever learned from about these energy centers. And if you really want to gain a good understanding of what these energy centers are and begin to learn about their function on an energetic level, I really recommend you study what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches about the energy centers. And really, I learned about these energy centers through his online courses. Okay, he has online courses on his website. And I went in deep into these energy centers through his online courses first. I took all his online courses. So his online courses dive deep into what the energy centers are. He also teaches a meditation formula about these energy centers. So not only did I learn about these energy centers through his courses, but I also studied the mechanism of the meditation by which to activate these energy centers. Also, if you're not interested in diving deep around this subject, you can also take a peek at his book called Becoming Supernatural. He has a whole chapter on the energy centers and how they're connected to our quantum structure as a vibrational being, but also as a physical being. So it's really through his work that my foundation for understanding the energy centers came about. In previous episodes, I've mentioned a lot about how we are electromagnetic beings. We are frequency and vibration, and we are also light and sound beings. All these things are related to one another, and they're parallel notions of who we really are as spiritual beings or energetic beings in physical form. Now, I want to just really give a review of what I learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza in terms of what the different chakras, or as I said, the energy centers of the body really are. The energy centers of the body, from my experience, learning, and practice of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, are as follows. These energy centers are, first of all, clusters of neurons. They're plexuses of neurons. They're like mini brains in the body, okay? They're clusters of neurons, or otherwise known as plexuses of neurons. This is important because this means that there are electrical signals or electrical current going through these energy centers. And so when we think about how we are electromagnetic beings, okay, we have an electrical circuitry going through our entire body. And these energy centers are part of that circuitry, first and foremost. Also, these energy centers have their own frequency and vibration. They have their own tonality. They have their own light and sound. And so this means that they carry their own message, aka frequency, and their own intent. And they also have their own vibrations. These different energy centers of the body have already been measured by scientists. They have their own tonality. They can be measured. They also have their own individual consciousness. I've spoken about this in other episodes, that everything is happening in consciousness. This is a big part of who we really are in the quantum model of reality. And when I say they have their own consciousness, comes from the things that I've said so far, meaning that they carry their own signaling. So they have their own sort of mini brains, their neural tissue in action. All right. And they carry their own messages and they send out information to different parts of the body. So they have their own glands, their own hormones, their own chemistry. They're individually unique in that sense, okay? And there's also a material component to them, as well as an immaterial component to them. So they're obviously both energy and matter. In this episode, as I'm referring to these energetic centers, I'm strictly speaking to the 7 main energetic centers that run along the spine. And these are really energetic vortices that are finely tuned to interface with the quantum field that we are embedded into. They are sort of like biological gateways to the quantum field itself. And you can also say it this way, they're energetic vortices of space-time. So there is a portal system between our biological processes and the quantum field itself. Also, these energetic centers govern the flow of life force within us. And I've talked about this in previous episodes about the chi energy, how the chi energy is our life force. And this life force is really the same essence as the quantum field itself. And so our biological system communicates with the quantum field constantly. And these energetic centers are these gateways of communication between the frequencies of different dimensions within the quantum field that we are part of. That is also our biofield. Our biofield is really the energetic dimensionality that we are embedded with into the quantum field. And these energetic centers are really the technology that we're using within ourselves to interchange or communicate with the quantum field through. As a reminder, we are in a quantum wave field. And this wave field has different vibrational states that we can experience. And everything that we experience is in different states of frequency or vibration. And the way we interact with these different states is through this operating system that these energy centers are constructing, really. So these are really innate so-called vehicles, really, or vortices or portals, that interpret these states, these different frequency and vibrational states that we're interacting with as we are embedded into the quantum field. And these energy centers really aid in translating these different vibrational states that we're interacting with by emotions, mental images, interpersonal experience, and so forth.